Have you ever found yourself lying awake in the still of the night, feeling like the world is asleep, but your body missed the memo? Maybe it starts with a faint restlessness. Maybe your heart is beating just a little too fast, or you're sweating for no clear reason. You glance at the clock. It's 3:12 a.m. again. And deep down you're wondering, why does this keep happening? It's easy to brush it off. Maybe it was a dream. Maybe you had too much water. But when it happens more than once, when it begins to feel like a pattern, that's when the questions start to grow louder. What is my body trying to tell me? For many older adults, these wake-ups feel like tiny mysteries. They come quietly with no warning, and yet they leave you tired, unsettled, and unsure. You might try adjusting your bedtime, cutting back on fluids, even changing your pillow. But the problem keeps showing up, just like the clock, just like the silence. And in that moment when sleep slips away again, it can feel like your body is slipping too. You're not imagining it, and you're certainly not alone. As we age, our sleep changes, but it's not just about getting older. Sometimes those middle-of-the-night wake-ups are actually signals, gentle messages from our bodies, telling us something deeper is happening beneath the surface. In today's video, we're going to gently explore why so many older adults wake up around 3 or 4 a.m. and what those moments might really mean for your health, your hormones, and your peace of mind. Most importantly, I'll show you how a few simple shifts in your day can lead to deeper rest and a more peaceful night. So if this is something you've quietly struggled with, I invite you to stay with me. Like this video if it speaks to you, and subscribe to the Longevity Secret channel for more insights that can help you feel strong, calm, and in control of your health again. Because when you start to understand what your body is saying, even those restless nights can begin to feel a little less confusing and a lot more hopeful. 1. A shift in your internal clock that no one warned you about. As we get older, the changes we notice in our sleep often feel like a mystery. But one of the most important pieces of the puzzle is something most of us were never taught about. It's called the circadian rhythm. Think of it like your body's internal clock. It tells you when to feel sleepy, when to feel alert, and even when your hormones should rise and fall throughout the day. In our younger years, this clock is usually right on time. We fall asleep, stay asleep, and wake up with energy. But as we age, this clock doesn't run the way it used to. Melatonin, the hormone that helps us drift into restful sleep, starts to decline naturally after age 60. And for many people, that drop is more noticeable around the early morning hours. This is one reason why waking up at 3 a.m. becomes more common. Your body is simply no longer receiving the same signals to stay asleep. It's like the volume on your sleep signal has been turned down. And when something small interrupts you, like a creaky floor or a change in temperature, you wake up more easily. Marlene, a 73-year-old retired teacher from Oregon, shared something many can relate to. She said she used to sleep soundly through the night, but over the past year, she found herself waking up at the same time each night. At first, she thought it was stress or maybe something she ate. But after talking with her doctor, she learned that it was her body's natural rhythm shifting. Her melatonin levels were lower and her sleep cycles were lighter. That knowledge brought her relief. It meant there wasn't anything wrong with her. She just needed to adjust how she approached her evenings. When you understand that these nighttime wake-ups are part of how the aging body works, it brings a sense of control back into your hands. You stop blaming yourself, and instead you start working with your body, not against it. That's where healing begins. 2. When worry wakes before the sun does. Sometimes the reason we wake up at 3 a.m. isn't physical, it's emotional. And often it's the kind of emotional weight we don't even realize we're carrying. For older adults, stress doesn't always show up the way it used to. It may not look like anxiety or panic. It might feel like a racing heart in the dark, or a mind that suddenly fills with thoughts about family finances or unfinished tasks. And the hardest part is, it can all come crashing in the moment you need rest the most. This happens because cortisol, a hormone tied to stress, rises naturally in the early hours of the morning. That's part of what helps you wake up. But when your body is under tension, even quietly, cortisol can spike too early, pulling you out of sleep before you're ready. And if your mind is already holding on to grief, regret, or even unspoken fears, those wake-ups can feel jarring. George, a 78-year-old veteran from North Carolina, shared that after his wife passed away, he started waking up in the middle of the night with a tightness in his chest. He wasn't crying. He wasn't even thinking sad thoughts, but his body felt alert, like it was bracing for something. His doctor explained that this was a normal response to long-term emotional stress. Even if his mind had adapted, his body was still healing. Once he began journaling before bed and practicing gentle breathing exercises, those restless wake-ups began to soften. The lesson here is simple but powerful. Stress doesn't sleep just because you do, and the body remembers things even when the mind forgets. But with awareness and small nightly habits that calm the nervous system, you can help your body feel safe again. And safety is what allows sleep to return. 3. A body that's thirsty but not just for water. It's easy to think of sleep as something that starts when we close our eyes. But the truth is, the way we sleep at night often begins with how we nourish and hydrate ourselves during the day. As we grow older, the body becomes more sensitive to imbalances. Blood sugar dips, dehydration, digestive shifts. All of these can quietly nudge us awake in the early morning hours, long before we're ready to rise. One of the reasons is that our hunger and thirst signals become weaker over time. That means we may not feel thirsty or hungry even when our body needs support. When we go to bed slightly dehydrated or with fluctuating blood sugar levels, the body often responds by waking us up. Sometimes with a dry mouth, sometimes with a feeling of restlessness, and sometimes without any clear symptom at all, just wakefulness. Food choices matter here. Eating heavy meals late at night, snacking on sugary treats before bed, or even drinking alcohol in the evening can all trigger these imbalances. When blood sugar drops around 3 hours a.m., the body may produce adrenaline to compensate, and that adrenaline is enough to stir you from even the deepest sleep. That's why balance is key. During the day, make sure to hydrate steadily rather than loading up on water right before bed. Choose calming evening meals that are lighter and rich in fiber, protein, and healthy fats. These help the body stay stable through the night. It's not about strict diets or rigid rules. It's about giving your body what it quietly needs, and in doing so, giving yourself the gift of rest. 4. Temperature, light, and the forgotten importance of the environment. When we talk about better sleep, most people focus on bedtime routines. But for many seniors, the secret to deeper rest actually lies in the room itself. As we age, our sensitivity to temperature, sound, and light increases. Things that once seemed harmless now have the power to disturb our rest without us even realizing it. The body's ability to regulate temperature naturally weakens with time. That means even a few degrees too warm or too cold can interrupt the sleep cycle. A room that feels cozy at 9 p.m. might be stifling by 3 a.m., causing you to toss and turn, throw off the blanket, or wake up with a damp pillow from night sweats. And here's the truth. When your body overheats, it's not just uncomfortable. It actually suppresses melatonin, making it harder to fall back asleep. Light plays a similar role. The glow of a digital clock, a nightlight in the hallway, even moonlight sneaking through a thin curtain. All of it can signal your brain that it's time to wake up. And if you're already in a lighter sleep stage, that small cue might be enough to bring you fully awake. Think of your sleep environment like a partner in your health. When it works with your body, you rest. When it works against it, you struggle. Simple adjustments like blackout curtains, breathable bed linens, or setting the thermostat between 60 and 67 degrees can make a surprising difference. You don't need a perfect room, just a peaceful one. One that supports your rest without distraction, because when your space becomes a sanctuary, your body begins to trust that it's safe to stay asleep. 5. what the liver, lungs, and hormones are doing at 3:00 a.m. There's a secret side to sleep that many people never hear about, and it's that while you're resting, your body's busy. Between the hours of 2:00 and 4:00 a.m., your liver begins its nightly job of processing toxins. Your lungs adjust breathing patterns, your hormones shift, and your entire system goes into repair mode. But if something's off inside even slightly, the body may respond by waking you up. This doesn't always come with pain or obvious symptoms. It might just be a sense of unease, a racing heart, a hot flash, or simply an unexplained alertness that fades after a few minutes. Sometimes the cause is inflammation, sometimes it's medication side effects, and often it's the body's way of asking for support. According to the National Institutes of Health, nearly half of older adults experience disrupted sleep tied to an underlying health issue, even when they don't realize it. That means if you're waking consistently at the same time every night, it may be worth having a conversation with your doctor. Not because something is wrong, but because your body may be signaling a need for deeper care. You don't have to live in fear of these signals. They aren't warnings, they're reminders, gentle ones, that your body is still doing its best, still asking to be heard, still working hard to support you. If you've ever felt alone staring at the ceiling at 3:00 a.m., wondering why rest feels just out of reach, I want you to know something important. You are not broken. You are not doing anything wrong. Your body is simply speaking in a new way, and now you're learning how to listen. What you've discovered today goes beyond sleep. It's really about understanding the quiet changes that come with age and honoring them with care. When you wake up in the middle of the night, it doesn't mean you're failing. It means your body is asking for attention, support, and kindness, and you have the power to give it just that. One of the most hopeful truths we talked about is this: healing doesn't have to start with big changes. It can begin with a small step, a glass of water earlier in the day, a morning walk in the sunlight, a darker, cooler room, or even a few deep breaths when your eyes open too early. These simple shifts matter, and the more you offer your body peace, the more it will offer you rest. Aging doesn't take away your strength. It simply asks you to care for yourself in new ways. And those ways can be gentler, slower, more forgiving. You deserve that. You deserve sleep that restores you, mornings that feel fresh, and nights that don't carry fear. So I invite you to hold on to this message. You are allowed to change how you care for yourself. You are allowed to slow down. And most importantly, it's never too late to feel better. If something in this video spoke to you, I hope you'll take a moment to like it. Subscribe to the Longevity Secret channel so you can keep learning ways to support your health and well-being. And if you feel comfortable, please leave a comment below. Share what part of your sleep has been hardest lately, or tell us one small step you're going to try. Your words might help someone else who is feeling exactly like you. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Be gentle with yourself, sleep peacefully tonight, and I'll see you again in the next video.